All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Trading Bitcoin with your host, Tone Vays. Obviously, everyone should be happier because we have finally made it back to the $50,000 area, which is awesome. I forgot to pull out your live chat. I'm going to go ahead and do that now. No private Q&A today. So if my moderators see any good questions or comments, feel free to throw them into my Telegram group. All right. Time is running out. I am about to head off to Dubai. Those that follow me on Twitter know that I currently have no bank account. Well, I have my personal bank account, but there's not much in my personal bank account because I pretty much run a business and everything goes through my business bank account, which has been closed by the one and only Chase. With all my business money, all of it, like all of it in one check, got sent to my. Oh, wait, I messed something up. There you go. This should be better. Hold on. Switch these. Okay, that's better. Is it better? Which one? There it is. There we go. Okay. It's not green. Why is it doing that? So I'm transparent. It's like Iron Man here. So anyway, so Chase decided to close my business bank account with all my money. Like all my money is in a Chase business bank account, and send it by check to an address that they complained was not a valid business address. That is the reason for the closure of the account, and that's where they sent all my money, which I can't get to because it is on the other side of the United States and I have a flight to Dubai. So this is going to be interesting. Anyway, well, welcome to trying to run a business in the fiat system. All right, let's go to the charts. All right. So understanding Bitcoin, come out to Dubai. I will find a way to make sure that the vendors that have to pay actually get paid. Though I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do that yet. Maybe they'll take Bitcoin. Maybe. I don't know. Okay. Let's also stick around for the financial side. Let's go to the charts. Hey, Will, that is exactly what I did. That is exactly what I did. It's a virtual business, so it uses a virtual office. So it is a real physical address, right? You can send mail there. Yeah, that's basically, yeah. Divine, that's exactly what happened. They identified the address of my business that it's not legit without giving me a warning and asking me to change that address. They decided to just close my business account and send all the money to said address, which is a legitimate address because I will eventually get that money. But it's just crazy how this happens. Okay, so let's look at the chart. Looking at the chart, the weekly chart looks really good. Let's see where we stand on the current weekly closure, assuming we close above 50,000 this week. If we close above 50,000 this week, this will be the second highest weekly close since May. So that's a really, really bullish sign. As far as the overall numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This would be the 12th close. I mean, we can probably sneak above that one. I mean, that's not a hard ask to close the week above 52. And if we're gonna, push it a little bit, we can probably literally close the week above 52. So yeah, so if we can close the week above 52, which I actually believe is possible, not probable, but very possible. This would probably be the 10th highest weekly close. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep, the 10th highest weekly close. That is a very bullish sign. I am incredibly bullish on Bitcoin right now, and I'll tell you guys why. We are unreasonably close to the prior swing high. And you guys know what I think about double tops and double bottoms. They're not meant to, reject the price. I mean, it happens sometimes, but statistically, the probability is grossly in your favor that when you reach a prior swing high or a prior swing low, you will break down, okay? So we are very close to the prior swing high, which means the probability is very high we will break above it. And when we break above it, we will be unreasonably close to this ridiculous consolidation of the yet prior to the prior swing high, which once again puts us in a beautiful position to break out above it. There is this matter of the MRI resistance line, and we can, glance back at history, how useful those weekly term MRI resistances were. Well, we haven't not had many of them, right? The only one we really had was this one here, and we did eventually break it. We did go like 50% above it. We did that very, very quickly and then tapered off for a while. But the breakout of that was fairly violent, but more importantly, look, it slowed down the price of Bitcoin for quite some time. We hit it here, we had a full week of consolidation and then a big drop. Now, my memory is pretty damn good. And I remember being pretty damn bearish at this MRI top. Why was I so bearish here? Well, I was bearish for several reasons. One, I felt that the bear market had not properly ended. I felt that we had gone up too far too fast. Those were the macro levels. On the more cleaner level, we had a doji candle, we had an MRI second consecutive top, and we just got rejected by the resistance line. I was honestly somewhat surprised that the pullback was so small. If we cherry pick the top and we cherry pick the bottom, that was only a 20% correction, okay? Now, if we don't cherry pick and we go, realistically from the resistance area of the MRI to the bottom of the candle and start of next candle, that is a 13% correction. I felt that was grossly insufficient in order to sustain a continuous bull market. That thought process was proven accurate. I, of course, had to become bullish. The fall over here, I had no choice. I'm not going to be a bear on a short-term level if we're breaking the MRI top. Same thing over here. This is where Tyler Jenks had no choice but to become bullish as well back in the day, even though he was still looking for the break of $1,000 Bitcoin. The green star here made me fairly bullish, but like reluctantly. And it all repeated here with another green star candle, making me very bullish reluctantly. Right here at the top, Ugly Old Goat and I did a stream where we were very concerned about the potential catastrophic collapse of Bitcoin. But even if COVID didn't come, remember, pre-COVID, we fell all the way down to the $6,500 area, which at the time would have been sufficient for me, because when we topped back here, I know I'm talking about ancient history here, but when we topped back here, my expectation was something closer to, whoa, that is a thick arrow. All right, hold on, that is just crazy. Red and, no, that's fine. That should be an arrow and that. Okay, my expectation was for it to come back down to somewhere around this moving average. And this moving average would have been probably a little bit lower if it wasn't for such high prices back there. So I expected it to come down to like here, at least a 4-week correction, and into this vicinity of $6,000 or slightly lower to like backtest this moving average, to backtest this area, which is approximately where it eventually went. I did think it was going to go a little bit lower as well, okay? But like the $6,000 vicinity is where I expected it to go. That didn't happen. The plus token had a lot to do with that. And right here, you know, by this time, enough time has gone by, and I was becoming less skeptical on the big catastrophic crash. I was almost ready to give up on, you know, the bear market being extended. And then the COVID crash happens, and I became flipped bear to bull right on March 12th, 13th, right at the low, like the day after the low. I'm not gonna sit here and say I perfectly called the $3,800 buy. I called the buy at like 45 on the back end. Like the way I watched it rebound on that day, I became an instant bull for the long term, and I've been a bull ever since that day. So we have not had very many of these monster resistance areas. We can go back further on the weekly scale and see if there has been others. There was one here that was never broken. There was a new one, and once again, you know, the break of this MRI resistance, you know, never came back down anywhere close to it. Now this time around, we did come down close to it, but we also broke this in a very different way. We went down a lot. We were so low. We were 60% low on that, 60% lower than that line. Though, actually, it's about the same. Wow, look at that. Look at that. Yeah, so the slower we break this line, the more likely we are to leave it in the dust and never come back. Wow, that I just spent too much time on that. All right, let's move on. This is the Consensio chart. I have switched the Consensio chart to be a 4-day chart instead of a 3-day chart. I feel this, you know, makes it less volatile and a little smoother. It's incredible how the long-term moving average has supported the price. That is a very great sign. In yesterday's stream, I have turned Consensio chart into 100% bullish. What makes the current candle different than this 80% bullish scenario? Well, the only difference between this candle, let's say this candle, the only difference between this candle here and this candle here is that over here, the long-term moving average is still declining, while here, the long-term moving average is now rising. That is the only difference that solidifies a 100% bullish position. So a 100% bullish position is only justified within Consensio is when you have a candle like this, where the candle is above the short term. The short term is rising. The short term is above the intermediate term. The intermediate term is above the long term, and they are all rising. This is your most bullish scenario possible. Okay. Now, in these other instances, you can take a little bit, you can start taking a little bit off the table. Now, remember, this short-term moving average is just a 3-period moving average. It's not much. It doesn't take much to get below that moving average. But as long as that moving average is increasing, there's really not that much to worry about. So this is actually the perfect example. The last perfect example is right here. Let me see if I can just paste that in there. Where did I just paste this thing? Oh, I pasted it. Okay, so I'm gonna grab this. I'm gonna swing it down. Okay, this is not working. Okay, so here, that. Okay, this candle, as this candle breaks out above the short-term moving average, because remember, prior to that, we had a bunch of red candles and the short-term moving average was decreasing and it was below the intermediate. I'm using the 7, the 9, and the 30 as my averages. But right here, this candle breaks them all, and now they're all increasing and in proper sequence. That creates a 100% bullish allocation according to Consensio. I don't want Tyler's legacy to die, so we are going to be covering the concept of Consensio. Those that are more interested in Consensio can purchase the old Consensio webinar. Every year, I give some of this away for free, and I slowly lower prices so that eventually all of Tyler Jenks's work slowly becomes free and available for all to learn from. My workshops are still here. One day when I'm ready to retire, these might also be free. But for now, this is basically the only way that I'm getting my bills paid these days, right? Because I'm a long-term trader in my retirement fund. I'm not actively trading, and I'm just organizing events. So considering the fact that all my bank account money is being sent somewhere, if you were considering purchasing these, now is the time. And to be honest, I kind of need the USD in USD form. And PayPal charges me a 5% fee on that, which I pay, not you guys. Taxes get paid either way, so that doesn't help. But PayPal takes a nice 5% cut. That's okay. I'm willing to pay the cost of business. I need to switch out of PayPal. I know there are cheaper alternatives, but it's just easy to integrate in the back end of a website. Okay, daily chart. I know you've all been waiting for the daily chart. The daily chart is basically my bread and butter. Tyler Jenks was more of a weekly chart trader. We are using the 4-day for Consensio. And the daily chart has broken above its prior swing high. And it has broken above this entire consolidation. So the daily chart has literally one barrier. These two candles. That's it. These two candles. And I still believe the daily chart is on pace for $62,000, $63,000 by mid-October. Around the time I am done with a ridiculous number of events I'm speaking at. I will be in Dubai. I'll probably be attending the dinner for Coin Agenda that night, assuming there is one. I don't know. I have no idea when I'm speaking at these things, who I'm speaking with, what I'm doing. I'd be like no one from these conferences can barely get a hold of me. So I'm on all their speaker lists. So I'll just show up and I'm like, okay, what do I do? That's basically what's going to happen in Dubai. And of course, understanding Bitcoin will be it might be a little more of an unconference where, the agenda will be driven by the 25 or 30 or so attendees, because this event is really small. And we had a little bit of a, speakers are changing. Sorry, guys, speakers are changing. I'm all over the place today. Boom. We have Marco Argentieri, who will be joining us, still trying to stay a little bit anonymous. And he is building on second layer solutions. He is building and utilizing the liquid side chain, which for those of you that may not be aware, is having a little bit of an issue with transactions currently not actually processing. So while the developers, mostly Blockstream developers, are fixing trouble with the liquid sidechain, the Bitcoin locked in the liquid sidechain, as far as I know, is completely safe, to quote our friend from Binance. But I am keeping an eye on this because I am very curious what happened and how it's getting resolved and how it will be resolved. And this will definitely be on the discussion at Understanding Bitcoin and probably in the next Understanding Bitcoin. Now, transactions have built up before in the liquid sidechain. Otherwise, it is very easy to clear your transactions. So this is going to be, I mean, I'm not technical enough to really understand this, but we will be discussing it at Understanding Bitcoin. And there'll be one more speaker replacement. You'll probably see that tomorrow. Some speakers are still not sure due to COVID restrictions and other plans, and everyone is basically last minute. But either way, education will be done on how to properly use Bitcoin. All right, you can watch the videos of last event here. All this is in the video description. All right, daily chart. Enough being all over the place. Man, I must have so many hate comments right now in the live feed. Have you ever thought running for House of Representatives? You will be great in politics. You know, maybe one day, but I'm not sure I will be a U.S. citizen to do that. No, I don't think so. I mean, the problem with me doing that is they will get their hands on everything I have ever said publicly on YouTube, and it's not that it's going to be embarrassing for me, but you know, the other side plays dirty. If I do run for politics, I will probably run as a socialist Democrat to take advantage of their media and then actually try to do proper changes when on the inside. That would be the plan. I will be AOC's or Bernie Sanders' understudy. Under the platform, I'm reformed. I am no longer a capitalist. Just to get elected. But now that I've said that, the plan is, the jig is up. Okay, so here's our daily chart. And the only concern I have for the daily chart is that we are about to hit an MRI top. Now, the last MRI top we hit, we had a 1 to 4 candle correction, complete textbook, and then we went higher. How much higher did we go after the doji candle? Well, we went a good, $8,000 higher for 17%. That is nothing to sneeze at. Now, it did take a bunch of time to get there. So realistically, we went 12% higher fairly quickly. And realistically, you would not have gotten out at the very top, though the green star candle would have kept me very bullish. That's a nice 10% rise off the drop. Now, the prior MRI top, I expected, a 1 to 4 candle correction from the prior MRI top. I was kind of sort of right. I was just missed it by 1 day. I missed it by a day. The MRI missed it by a day. It was all looking really good for calling the perfect top, right? Because we had a doji candle and we started to drop. And we also broke the MRI resistance line, which made me bullish for the long term. And we also, rallied right on the MRI buy here. So what am I looking for? Well, the MRI top is going to come as I am on a 16-hour journey to Dubai. So I will probably not be streaming as the MRI buy is happening unless they let you stream from the plane, which they don't. So you will see the MRI top come, assuming it comes, because we can always reverse now. But I am anticipating the MRI top later this week, and that should pull the market back down to probably below 50K, and then the final run up into the 60s. Short-term chart, 1 hour chart, consolidating, probably going to break out one more time. The 4 hour chart is probably going to come up on an MRI top later today. Waiting for it to load. Yeah, probably got a few more days, a few more candles to go, right? So yeah, you got 3 more candles to go. So by end of day today, if you're in California. Yeah, GBTC, the GBTC premium is still grossly depressed. When we break out to a new all-time high, I'm expecting this premium to just evaporate. And GBTC can really shoot up nicely because there'll be FOMO of missing out because the ETF ain't coming. I didn't talk about the oil chart last time. As you guys know, I have been grossly bullish on oil. I have been more bullish on oil than I have been on Bitcoin. Though for some reason, my portfolio is all Bitcoin and not all oil. That's probably my mistake. Probably around here, I should have reallocated my portfolio from being 100% Bitcoin to 100% USO or something, because the price of oil since the breakout has gone up 13%. And I'm not sure if Bitcoin has beaten oil since September 10th. Let's go and take a look. Let's see if Tone made the right decision. And I'll actually use GBTC because I'm in GBTC, right? That's the asset that I'm holding. So September, what did I say? September what? September 10, September 11. Basically when I flew out to Malta. So GBTC, September 11. Oh yeah, oil did better. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, only 8%, right? Only 8%. Yeah, so oil was clearly the smarter asset to hold because I've been screaming that oil is going to break $100. But now, I don't know. Now it's just gone up a little too far too fast. And also, oil is on a daily MRI sell, so I would not be entering oil now. I would stay patient and wait. On a weekly scale, oil still has so much time left before it hits an MRI top and potentially reverses. The last time it hit an MRI top, it kept going a little bit higher. But the prior time, it certainly reversed quite seriously. Oh, the S&P 500, look at this. It's flip-flopping left and right. It's going to be very challenging for the S&P 500 to hit an MRI buy because of today's price action, unless this evaporates. So expect a break in the MRI count tomorrow. And then will be the moment of truth. Will we get rejected by the 20-period moving average? And then make this ultimate low with the MRI buy and the 200-day moving average later on. Now, I would love to see the S&P 500 rally here so that the Bitcoin price stays somewhat correlated. Now, keep in mind, yesterday, Bitcoin went up a lot and the S&P 500 crashed a lot. So the correlation potentially starting to break between Bitcoin and the S&P. I can glance at a lower level time frame. You guys know I love the 10 a.m. reversals on the S&P, but I don't think that happened today. I think we're just straight up and up and up. Or did we reverse at 10 a.m.? No, we've been going up since opening bell. Beautiful MRI top on the 10-minute chart. This is a proper 10-minute chart because this is already in the middle of market action. Went straight up into an MRI top, 1 to 4 candle correction. We'll see if that becomes something more or it continues going higher. Someone asked for a 30-minute version. Yeah, see, I wouldn't care if that is an MRI top because, you know, it involved the illiquid trading pre-market. So, all right, guys, I don't have much else. This is the weekly version of the S&P. Not really much to say on that. And this is the US dollar. The US dollar, I am back to being bullish on the dollar very reluctantly. Very reluctantly. I really thought the US would cannibalize itself as the other countries realize, you know, the bullshit and open up their countries for economic prosperity. But it seems that only El Salvador and Mexico have decided to, or Brazil, Costa Rica, Colombia, right? There's very few countries that are trying to create economic prosperity for its people. Those countries, in order of population, are Mexico, Colombia, Costa Rica, Dominican Republic, and El Salvador. Though by population, El Salvador is probably higher than the Dominican Republic. Now, 4 of those countries do not require a COVID test or a vaccine to come and create some economic prosperity, at least with your tourist money. And the other one decided to adopt Bitcoin. That's it. That's the list. Now, US is somewhere in the middle because at least they don't require a lot of that nonsense in non-communist states, which are New York and California. Can you comment on Bitcoin adoption in India? I cannot because I have not been to India in 2 years. So I'm not really following that. India is like China. It like bans Bitcoin every quarter and then unbans it and then bans it again. India is also up there, right? Because India decided not to vaccinate their population, but to use ivermectin. And this is why you don't hear anything in the mainstream news about India. Anything. India's population is like, I think, 3 to 5% vaccinated. And yet there's almost no COVID deaths or cases being reported by the mainstream media out of India. Why do you think that is? So I am bullish on the US dollar here. Yeah, Melvin, that is exactly it. They did not ask me anything. I still haven't gotten the notification that my account was closed. I logged in and it wasn't there. Like, wasn't there. Like, when I log into Chase, I have my personal business account. I have my personal account. I have my other business in the Northeast, which is a physical business. And I have my virtual business, which is how you buy these workshops and stuff. And all of a sudden, instead of 3 accounts in my Chase account, there were 2. And the one that actually had money in it, like all my money, it was just gone. gone. So I had to spend 2 hours on hold yesterday to find out what the hell happened to my account and where the money is. And the money was sent to the address that was deemed invalid for maintaining the business account. Which, to add irony, is a valid address because I am going to get that money, but not in person because I got to go to Dubai. I never thought COVID was fake. I've had COVID twice. Even have a positive COVID test to prove it. So now, because of that positive COVID test, I'm trying to get an exemption that I have natural immunity. So I got a doctor's appointment in order to validate the fact that I had COVID. And for some countries, that gives you 6 to 9 months of travel entry without even a negative COVID test needed, if you can prove natural immunity, which some countries don't even acknowledge. Basically, if you look at some airlines, they literally say in print, natural immunity doesn't count. You have to be vaccinated is the only way. But technically, from what I've read, you're not supposed to be vaccinated if you recently had COVID. Anyway, it's just there's no consistency with this across the board. But yet, ironically, the deadly COVID still allowed me to do daily YouTube videos without missing a beat. I never said it was fake. It's a COVID is a bad cold. It's a bad cold. I don't even want to call it the flu. It's a bad cold. Technically, COVID means cold. That's what it means. Like look up in the old textbook. What coronavirus means cold. A flu is a bad cold, and so is COVID. It's a bad cold, a little different. I don't know. I've never had the flu, so I have no idea what that feels like. I've always said the time to prepare for COVID was between the ages of 18 and the day you caught COVID. That was the time to prepare for COVID. Hopefully, your parents prepared you from the time you were 5 by feeding you the right food and making you exercise a little bit, but can't always control what your parents do. But since you turned 18 and hopefully younger, you should have been preparing to survive COVID. So it's basically most people's their own fault if they were out of shape or had pre-existing conditions that could have been avoided with a better diet and exercise. It's a bad cold that can kill you. Just like the flu, guys. Just like the flu. A flu is a bad cold that can kill you. All right. Video's lasting too long. Need to get going. No, Sansnake. The 90% survival rate is for people over 90 years old. If you are under 50, your survival rate is like 99.5%. It's not that's not even close to 90. That is like almost 100. All right, guys, that's it for me. Thank you all for, oh wait, moderators are sending me stuff. Whoa, 17 messages, shit. Tone, let's say we hit our second all-time high top by end of year. Do you think 2022 would be a bear market start, or there would be a continuation next year? Because seems to, okay, that is a really good question. And this video has gone on forever. So here's the thing, right? The longer it takes us to break the all-time high, and the longer it takes us to get to 100,000, like the less likely we are to have a bear market in 2022. To have a bear market in 2022, we would need to break $150,000 in the first quarter of 2022. Because the slower we go up, I mean, we need an exponential rise. Like this is also an exponential rise. Look, we went up over 100%. Let's do the 100%, right? Like we went up over 100% in a short amount of time. Okay, and that caused, you know, a year-long drop, almost 9 months drop, right? Over here, like look at the end run. The end run, we went up 300% in the end run, and that created the big drop. Now, we did go up fairly quickly, but this was a breakout. This was a breakout. This wasn't a continuation, right? Like we need a continuation run, not a breakout run. So you would need literally a move for at least 100%, probably closer to 150 in a short amount of time to cause the bear market. So if we are going up slowly, we could be going up all the way into 2023 before the drop. And we'll still need a blow off top. This is why I never saw this as a start of the bear market, because this was not a blow off top. It just wasn't. It spent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 and a half. Let's say 12 weeks, right? 3 months. It spent 3 months at the top. Did this spend 3 months at the top? No. Look at the very top, right? It spent just a couple of days up here and up here back in 2019. Well, what about up here? Well, it spent literally just 1 week. And we can say the same thing about the 2013 market. Look, just spent like 2 weeks, right? We spent 3 months. So this is why this was not the top. Tops are usually like, you don't have time to sell the top. You usually get a couple of days, maybe a week max, okay? Or 2 weeks max. You don't get 3 months to sell the top. That's not how tops form. This was just a correction fueled by, you know, China and Elon and other short-term factors. Mt. Gox rehab plan vote ends October 8th. I don't actually know what that means, but yeah. If you're involved in Mt. Gox, something happening October 8th. So there's my PSA. SEC in the background trying to get, yeah, they're not going to get much. Trust me. Do you think bear market is coming to the traditional market at the end of the year? I don't know, but I don't think so. They're about to start printing trillion-dollar coins, for God's sakes. Why would the stock market go down? Tone, what are your thoughts on the next bear market for Bitcoin? Do you see the space evolving, or will it be similar to past down markets? It will be similar to past down markets, because the only place I see the space evolving is into more stupidity of idiocracy, which I believe is now a documentary film. So as NFTs and DeFi continue to go up in value, the space is actually getting more stupid. So yes, another bear market is coming. Yes, we are going to fall 80 to 85%. Ethereum is going to lose most of that value. And maybe then the space would evolve. Now, I would personally rather see that happen from a $250,000 Bitcoin than from a $120,000 Bitcoin. But we will continue doing these daily videos and try to figure out when it will actually begin. Why is GBTC still at a large discount? The reason is because too many people bought the Grayscale Trust last year thinking they would print and make money on the positive premium, and these people have been selling ever since. So there is more GBTC shares out there for sale than demand. It's all you know, small circle supply and demand. So there is X number of GBTC shares, and more people are interested in selling these shares at the moment than buying those shares. Now, once more people are interested in buying those shares than selling those shares, the GBTC premium will spike above zero because no new GBTC shares are going to be created in the near future because no one has bought into the trust in over 6 months. Why would you? If the premium is negative, you're better off buying GBTC. Okay. Oh boy, geez, it's a lot of questions. Hugo's asking me to comment on his cup and handle chart. Did I just stick this in the middle or did I override a chart? I think I stuck it in the middle. I did. Cup and handle, yeah, I can see it. I think the handle is a little bit too long, but it's fine. Yeah, it looks good, other than it's not perfect. I wish that this was also the prior high was down here instead of up there, but it's yeah, it is definitely it definitely has cup and handle qualities. I like it. Yeah, I might try Revolut. I tried doing, I went to TransferWise, but TransferWise didn't like my US state of residency, and they don't really like business accounts, so I couldn't really use TransferWise. I'm hearing good things about Revolut. Do you see a Bitcoin ETF approval this month? Absolutely not. I do not see an ETF approval this month. Maybe later this year, early, no, this year is out. Later next year. I don't see it. I do not see it. Okay, guys, I gotta go. Thank you all for watching, and support. Come out to Dubai. It's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be great. Stick around for the financial summit. Check out the videos. Keep you posted on Unconfiscatable. We'll probably put tickets on sale this month. Actually, we'll definitely put tickets on sale this month. Otherwise, it ain't happening. So we are going to put it on sale this month. I'm just so busy to manage it until after Unconfiscatable, Understanding Bitcoin ends. So in about a week or two, you will be able to buy your tickets for Unconfiscatable. And my calendar in Dubai, where I'll be for the next 6 weeks. All right, guys. Thank you all for watching, and see you all